Good morning, besties. I'm not sure if I'm going to make this a dedicated video in and of itself. I think I might, just to make the video and let people see, because I get 1,000 questions on my eyebrows, which is so funny because I never thought in a million years I would get questions on my eyebrows. I just did not have very good eyebrows the majority of my life. So I'm going to make it today for you all because people seem to like my brows. I have a pimple up here, which is absolutely painful, and it's not going away. And I've been using the Tula Instant Depuff eye cream. Is it eye cream? Eye renewal serum. It's really nice, and I like the fact that it has like this metal tip applicator because it's just, I don't know, super cooling. And I don't know that I've been getting the best sleep recently. I don't feel very well rested, and I've been very busy, so I'm going to do my brows for you all. I'm actually going to take my robe off because I'm about to pass away. It's so hot. It is so hot. Okay, so this morning what I've done thus far is I've been testing out brow products for Fawn Beauty, like for my own personal brand. And the one that I have in my brows right now is a Fawn Beauty brow product. And I talked about that in my last video, or maybe not my last, but a video on I like to have a really strong hold in my brows, even when I'm tinting them, when I'm doing whatever, because you don't want to tint your brows, you don't want to pluck your brows, you don't want to do anything to your brows unless they're in the position that you usually have them in. So you don't want to go plucking at your brows, and then whenever you push them up or whenever you style them, they look completely different because that's not usually how you do things, if that makes sense. So what I like to do before I do anything is push up my brows how I normally wear them, and this is how I normally wear my eyebrows, or how I style my eyebrows. Literally just like this. And so all I've done is take my brow product. For the sake of the video, we'll say the Anastasia Brow Freeze. If I can find mine. We'll say the Anastasia Brow Freeze, or we'll say some really strong cold brow product, and go through my brows. Now what I do is I took the Welleda Skin Food. You can use Welleda Skin Food, you can use Vaseline, you can use your moisturizer, whatever. But what you want to do is create a barrier between your eyelid here and then above your brows. So that, excuse me, I got the hiccups. So that none of the dye is going to get on your brows. None of the dye is going to get on, or not your brows, sorry. None of the dye is going to get on your eyelids and the skin around your brows, because that's what's going to cause it to look really chunky and not look very professional. So I'm just warming that up on my finger and taking it around my brows to create that barrier. And if you've ever had your brows waxed, you just kind of put it in the places where you would wax your brows. So there's that. Now, what I went ahead and did was I took my razor, this one. I took a Tinkle razor. You can get these on Amazon. Packs of like, I think 6 or maybe even more for like super cheap. $2, $3, something like that. You can get them at Walmart too. And then I went under my brows and just made a line. Basically, there's a little hair that I need to get right there. And I like to use a brow razor because if it messes up, it's not being fully plucked. It's just being cut. So it's still going to grow, if that makes sense. Whenever you pluck it, it's more of like a, not permanent, but it lasts a little bit longer, like you without any hair. And if you make any mistakes, it's just easier to correct if you use a razor first, and then you can go in and get the ones you really want to get with tweezers. So I like the way my brows look right now. They're pretty okay, and I'm going to go in with my tint. Now for my tint, usually I use something really dark, like I use a medium dark brown because I have dark brown hair. But today I'm kind of vibing with like my natural brows. I just want a little bit more something whenever I have makeup on, because they tend to fade. Or not like fade, but they don't fade. They just look not extravagant, if that makes sense. They don't match the rest of my face. So I'm going to use literally anything, and I'm going like to mix it on. This is a Princess Polly tag, but I don't want to ruin something else. This is going in the trash. So I use the Just for Men Color Base and Color Developer. This is in the shade light medium brown, or maybe even light brown. I'm pretty sure it's light medium brown though. I usually have medium brown and I have it over there, but I just want to use the light today because, like I said, I'm not doing anything super dark and crazy. And I have some photo shoots coming up and some things I'm going to film. So I just want to have a good amount of brow product on already before I get to taking these photo shoots and all that good stuff. So then I take this teeny tiny brush. I don't even know the brand because it has no brand on it, but it's just one of these. It's just a angled brush like this, and I mix everything together on my little Princess Polly tag. And now my brows are ready to go because I have put the well-oiled skin food down so it's not going to get all over my skin. I forgot to put my earrings in. Who am I? Who am I? I'm literally disgusted with myself. Also, what I usually do is I'll put this on, leave it for a few minutes, and then take it off, assess the situation, and put more on if I need it, which usually I do because I like certain parts of my brows to be darker than others, which I think makes it look more natural. So now I'm just going to take it and I move it from here. If you guys can see my very professional setup, I move it from here and I just kind of get my brush coated in it and just get it on the tip because I don't want to go in with a ton of product at once. I just want to use a little bit and go in. Now keep in mind I already have my brow product in, and that's going to help me know where to put my dye. So if I'm like, I just want a little bit of something in the front, but I want to go along the edge, the bottom edge of my brow to give me a really nice arch and to make it look like the bottom of my brow is a little bit fuller, that's what I do. And then also I have a Q-tip over here. Well, I brought one over here, but I don't know where it's at. Perfect. Here it is. I brought a Q-tip so that if I get any down here and I'm like, oh, I don't want that, then I can easily just take it and clean it up. I usually leave this on for like 3 minutes. It gets darker the longer it stays on, the actual product itself and your brows. So you can kind of see, it looks a little bit scary and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, what the heck is wrong with my eyebrows? And they're like, oh, nothing. Because you take it off and, you know, nothing really stayed. So I encourage you to leave it on if you are using this. Leave it on a little bit longer than you think you need. So I'm going to do both of my brows and get back to you. Okay, so I have my brow product, or I have my brow dye on my brows how I want it. It took me a little bit longer than usual because this morning I was watching this girl in Nashville. Her name is Jen, and her Instagram name is Jen of All Trades, and she does Mallory Irvin's eyebrows, and she's been posting Instagram stories of her eyebrows, and they just look so good. So I was like, I need to figure out who does them, and I was like, I'll just go get my eyebrows done by her, but she's not accepting new clients. So, boo for that. Because I was going to go this weekend. I'm going to be in Nashville anyway for something very exciting. But anyway, I'm just going to let this marinate on my brows and do any touch-ups if necessary. The sun is so bright. And do any touch-ups if necessary. And yeah, that's the vibe. That's what's happening. I think they look really good thus far. I think one of the best things you can do for your brows is just go with your natural shape whenever you're tinting them. Because if you don't, then you're just going to get, you know, tint all over your skin rather than your actual hair, and it's not going to look natural. You're not going to look natural, baby. So, that's what I like to do. I have a scar in this eyebrow, but it doesn't stop me from living my life because I just paint over it, you know. And then it's kind of a vibe. It's kind of a vibe. I used to hate my scar, now I'm kind of like, you know, whatever. So it looks a little crazy. That's the goal. I used way too much. You barely need any dye. You really don't need much at all. So yeah, I'm going to wait and get this all off my skin. And we'll meet back together. Okay, so now I'm going to take a makeup wipe. You can use any kind, or you can use makeup remover. I've had these for like 100 years, so I'm trying to get rid of them. They are the No. 7 biodegradable makeup wipes. They're pretty good. It's a makeup wipe. And I go around the edges first, just to clean up any edges, because we don't want it smearing everywhere. And then I will wipe it all off. But you can kind of see it's much darker than it was. It looks a little wild. So I go in with my makeup wipe and just kind of wipe in upward motion so I'm not messing up all my brows underneath, because we still want the look of them being laminated. Also, I do laminate my brows myself, but I don't do it as often. I think I've done it 2 times, and I can tell a difference whenever I do it, and I can tell a difference when I get my brows laminated, and just like the overall health of my brows, they're kind of more fragile, and they just don't feel as healthy. They feel a little bit, I don't want to say fried, but a little fried. And it doesn't matter how long I leave it on or how short I leave it on. If I don't leave it on long enough, it doesn't do anything. And if I leave it on too long, then my brows are like crispy. So I will show you guys how I do that whenever I do it again. But honestly, I just get the exact same thing from using products. So, and it doesn't take me long at all to use a product, you know. Whereas if I use lamination, it takes me a long time to do the lamination and do all the things. So, okay, so you can kind of see it looked a lot darker whenever I actually had it on. And so I'm going to go in and put a little bit more in the places where I feel like I need more. And at this point, my brows are pushed up, but I don't have the product in them anymore. So I'm just going to put the dye very carefully where I think that I need it and leave it on for probably 3-4 minutes. Also, one thing I thought of is I recommend after you put it on, then you go through and use your spoolie and push up your brows how you want, because now since they have a little bit of product in them, a little bit of dye, they're gonna be a little more malleable. So I put my spoolie through them, then I can see the little sparse areas a bit better. And I'll go in, same thing, and I always push up. I start at the base for a little bit thicker, because, you know, normally you have a bit thicker base than you do top of your brow. So I'll do that. Same thing with the other side. And like I said before, the most flattering and natural thing you can do is do your natural brow shape. Or at least as close to it as you can get. Because I know sometimes people are like, well, I overplucked. No big deal. You can still kind of see, line it up here to here. Line it up with the edge of your eyebrow where your eyebrow should end. There's a ton of, like a million different, like Google a eyebrow chart, like for your face. I think you could literally just Google eyebrow chart, like how your eyebrows are supposed to be. That's how people do it for microblading. And it's just going to be really flattering and make sense for your specific anatomy. This lighting's crazy. The sun is moving. Anyways, let's move this. Let's see if we can get a better setup. I look a little crazy, but that's okay. We're gonna take this off. And yeah. I left it on for probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. And it's a little bit darker than I would like, but it'll fade. I always recommend going a little bit darker than you think that you should, because it's going to fade, especially if you use retinol or you use oil in your face products or your makeup wearer, and you'll be getting makeup in your brows. I always go a little bit darker so it will last a little bit longer, and then by tomorrow it's not going to look crazy. There we go. So this is what it kind of looks like up close with no product in it, and my hairs are kind of like laid over crazy because they have a little bit of product left in them. So I'm going to go in with my brow product, potential brow product, and push it up and assess the situation as I do in everything in life. Mainly makeup and skincare though. Yeah. Okay, you can see like that just gave me so much more shape and so much more ease when doing my brows. Like I literally will just put this in them and go, and it looks like I did my brows. It looks like I tried really hard. It looks like I have a lot more brow hair than I actually do. And it's stunning. So I'm gonna push this brow product through them, because even if I don't have any makeup on, I like my brows to be done. Like I'm literally just about to go over to my gym and work out, but I want to look cute for myself. Okay, so that's it. That's all I do. I think it looks so much better now that I've cleaned up underneath with my tweezers and with my razor. And that's my brow routine. They'll stay like this for about a week and a half maybe. And if I need to go in with a little bit more tint, it's not a big deal. Like it's, I think maybe $4 or $5, $6 for the brow tint that I use. And I've had that for, no joke, probably 3 years. I'm sure it's expired by now, but still works and looks good. So I just do something really simple like this. It's not a big deal. My necklaces are so messed up. It's not a big deal. It's not hard to do. It may take some used to, like just as far as putting it where you like, but because it doesn't give you a ton of color, if you leave it on for just a few minutes. It's really easy to work with. And so yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. I'll have the products that I use linked down below for you all, and hope you have a fabulous day.